In the swirling chaos of the cosmos, a figure of contradiction and cunning was born, Loki the Trickster God. Born to Farbauti, the cruel striker, and Laufey, the leafy isle, Loki was a giant by birthright. Yet his destiny lay not with his kin, but with the gods of Asgard, where he forged a path of mischief and mayhem. His relationships with the gods were as complex as the god himself. He was a brother, a friend, and an ally, but also a nemesis, a liar, and a foe. His quick wit and silver tongue endeared him to some, while his penchant for chaos and deception made him a thorn in the side of others. Yet, despite his mischievous nature, Loki was an integral part of the grand tapestry that is Norse mythology, his actions often driving the narrative forward. Thus, Loki, the master of mischief and manipulation, entered the world and the grand stage of Norse mythology. If you're enjoying this journey through Loki's saga, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more mythology content. Loki's lineage is an unusual blend of the divine and the monstrous. This trickster god, a pivotal figure in Norse mythology, has a family that reflects his own complex and contradictory nature. Loki's children are nothing short of extraordinary, each with their own unique abilities and forms. His first child, the wolf Fenrir, is a creature of immense strength and ferocity. Born of Loki's union with the giantess Angerboda, Fenrir's size and power were so formidable that the gods themselves feared him. Then there's Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent. This massive sea serpent, so large that it encircles the entire world, is another offspring of Loki and Angerboda. Jormungandr is a creature of the ocean depths, a symbol of the unknown and the uncontrollable, much like Loki himself. Loki's third child with Angerboda is perhaps the most chilling. Hel, the ruler of the underworld, is a figure of dread in Norse mythology. Half living and half dead, her appearance is a stark reminder of the inevitability of mortality. Yet in her dominion over the realm of the dead, there is a sense of order and balance. But Loki's family ties aren't limited to his monstrous progeny. He also has a wife, Sigyn, who is a figure of devotion and loyalty. Despite Loki's unpredictable nature, Sigyn remains steadfastly by his side, even when he's at his most devious. Her loyalty serves as a stark contrast to Loki's erratic behavior, showing a different aspect of his complex character. Loki's family is a mirror of his own self, filled with contradictions, embodying both the monstrous and the divine, the feared and the loved. They are a testament to his unique position in Norse mythology, straddling the line between god and monster, chaos and order. With a family as diverse and dangerous as Loki's, it's no surprise that his story is one filled with chaos and calamity. To say Loki was a handful would be an understatement. His actions shaped and shook the world of Norse mythology. How so, you ask? Well, let's dive into some of Loki's most notable deeds and misdeeds that made him the enigmatic figure he is in the lore. Loki was a shapeshifter and a trickster, and his antics were a constant source of disruption and even danger for the gods of Asgard. Let's start with a tale of craftsmanship and cunning. Loki was instrumental in the creation of Thor's hammer Mjolnir. When the dwarves Brok and Sindri wagered with Loki that they could forge 3 gifts superior to those crafted by the sons of Ivaldi, Loki took it upon himself to ensure their failure. But his interference, intended to sabotage, actually resulted in the creation of some of the most powerful and revered objects in Asgard, including Mjolnir. The hammer, despite being imperfect due to Loki's meddling, became a symbol of protection for the gods and mankind alike. But Loki's actions weren't always unintentionally beneficial. His misdeeds often bore disastrous consequences. A prime example is his role in the death of the god Baldur, the beloved son of Odin and Frigg. After learning that all things in the world had sworn an oath not to harm Baldur, save for the seemingly harmless mistletoe, Loki crafted a spear from the plant. He then tricked the blind god Hoder into throwing the spear, causing Baldur's death. This act was a pivotal point in Norse mythology, marking the beginning of the end for the gods of Asgard. Loki's shape-shifting abilities also led to some unexpected outcomes. One of the most notable instances of his transformation was when he turned himself into a mare. Yes, you heard it right, a mare. This was once again part of a scheme to disrupt the construction of Asgard's defensive wall. By transforming into a mare, Loki lured away the stallion of the giant builder, thus ensuring the gods wouldn't have to give up the sun, the moon and Freya as payment for the completed wall. This escapade, however, resulted in Loki giving birth to Sleipnir, an 8-legged horse that became the steed of Odin. From crafty trickster to inadvertent creator, from murderer to mother, Loki's deeds spanned the spectrum of good and evil. His actions, whether born out of mischief, malice, or necessity, had a profound impact on the world of Norse mythology. They brought about the creation of powerful artifacts, caused the death of beloved gods, and even added a few unexpected members to the divine family. Loki's deeds, whether for good or ill, forever changed the landscape of Asgard and the lives of its inhabitants. But every trick has its consequences, and Loki was no exception. This brings us to the grim chapter of Loki's life. His imprisonment. This wasn't a simple time-out corner punishment. No, the gods of Asgard, enraged and heartbroken by the loss of their beloved Baldur, decided on a fate for Loki that was as dramatic as it was cruel. Loki's guilt in Baldur's death was undeniable. The mistletoe arrow, Baldur's only vulnerability, was a weapon of Loki's making and his cunning. As a result, the gods of Asgard, led by Odin, decided to bring Loki to justice. But this was no ordinary trial. The verdict was as unique as the misdeeds of the accused. The gods captured Loki, who tried to evade his fate by transforming into a salmon. But even the slippery fish couldn't slip through the gods' net. Captured and bound, Loki was taken to a desolate cavern beneath the earth, a place as cold and harsh as the heart of a god mourning their lost son. Imprisoned in this cavern, Loki's punishment was to be a living echo of Baldur's death. As Baldur was killed by a mistletoe arrow, Loki was bound with the entrails of his own son, Narfi, a chilling reminder of his role in Baldur's death. But the punishment didn't end there. A serpent was placed above Loki, its venom dripping onto Loki's face, causing unbearable pain. But even in this torturous condition, Loki wasn't alone. His loyal wife Sigyn stayed by his side, holding a bowl above his face to catch the venom. However, when she had to empty the bowl, the venom would hit Loki, causing him to writhe in pain. These violent convulsions, according to the myth, were the cause of earthquakes in the world above. In this harsh punishment, we see the culmination of Loki's devious deeds, a chilling reminder of the price of mischief. Loki's story is a stark testament to the idea that every action, particularly those born out of deceit and malice, carries a hefty price. Loki's story does not end with his punishment. In fact, his greatest act was yet to come. Now we step into the realm of Ragnarok, the prophesied end of the world in Norse mythology, where Loki plays a pivotal role. After eons of torment, Loki breaks free from his chains. The earth quakes and trembles as the trickster god unleashes his pent-up fury. He's no longer the playful prankster of Asgard, nor the cunning manipulator who'd bend the rules for his advantage. This is Loki, the harbinger of destruction, the instigator of the end times. He rallies the Jotnar, the giants, his kin from the frosty realm of Jotunheim. These colossal beings, often at odds with the gods, join forces with Loki, driven by the promise of a new world order. They march towards Asgard, the abode of gods, with Loki leading the charge. The gods, aware of the impending doom, prepare for battle. Odin, Thor and the rest of the Aesir brace themselves for the final confrontation. The stage is set for a clash of titanic proportions, a battle that will determine the fate of the 9 realms. In the thick of the carnage, Loki confronts Heimdall, the vigilant guardian of the Bifrost Bridge. Their enmity, simmering for ages, culminates in a duel that echoes through the realms. Both meet their end, but not before leaving an indelible mark on the course of cosmic history. As the dust settles, the world as we know it ceases to exist. The gods fall, the realms crumble, and out of the ashes rises a new world. A world born out of chaos and destruction, a world that Loki had envisioned. In Loki, we witness a character of immense complexity, a trickster who both aids and undermines the gods, a figure of chaos who brings about the end of the world. His story is a testament to the unpredictable and transformative power of chaos, reminding us that even in mythology, endings can be beginnings, and destruction can pave the way for creation.